She openly ridiculed God on national, or was something more fun, which was a huge show of defiance. But she had no idea that the gods were keeping a close eye on her. What happened next was something nobody could have predicted. Moviegoers in the United States can catch Billy Eichner and Luke McFarlane in Bros, a romantic comedy set in New York City in 2022. In Bros, a groundbreaking homosexual rom-com produced by a major studio, two people fall in love amidst a series of hilarious and romantic misadventures. The film authentically depicts LGBTQ+ characters breaking down obstacles and preconceptions in the process. The story of Bros revolves around Alex, a bright and clever young guy who longs for a love that goes against the grain of conventional romantic relationships. Alex is optimistic and committed to finding his partner despite external and internal obstacles. Max, a charming and kind artist, enters the picture and sparks Alex's interest, paving the way for a lovely romance. The film takes viewers on an emotional roller coaster as they experience the highs and lows of Alex and Max's love. The spectator becomes immersed in their love journey, from the fascinating first meet to the hurdles they encounter along the way. The writing skillfully interweaves humorous, vulnerability, and poignant scenes to present an authentic and engaging portrait of romantic love. Bros features a talented ensemble cast that helps to highlight a wide array of personalities. Alex's tight-knit network of pals, led by his sassy and quick-witted best buddy, gives him both comic relief and true support as he travels through life. Both LGBTQ+ people and their allies will find something to relate to in the film's message of friendship, acceptance, and self-discovery. In addition to being a fun watch, Bros also has an important social message. As the first openly homosexual romantic comedy from a major studio, it shatters stereotypes and promotes acceptance in a new way for Hollywood. Regardless of one's sexual orientation, it emphasizes the importance of finding true connections and urges viewers to do the same. Even after the lights go down, Bros keeps the audience thinking about issues of representation, love, and acceptance. This groundbreaking film is evidence of the industry's upward momentum, opening the way for the telling of more varied and genuine stories. Bros is a tribute to the limitless nature of love, friendship, and the art of storytelling. 150 cannot criticize or comment on happenings. Here's a hypothetical example of MTV Video Music Awards, VMAs, criticism for fostering moral and sexual depravity. Concerned viewers say the MTV Video Music Awards, VMAs, promote moral and sexual degradation. Critics say the show's material, performances, and atmosphere have become more explicit and sexual, breaching mainstream television's boundaries. They say the VMAs emphasize shock value and sensationalism over artistic expression, sending the wrong message to young viewers who may be impacted by these performances. Some feel that the focus on explicit content detracts from the actual spirit of music, turning the event into a spectacle rather than a celebration of skill and innovation. Critics say the VMA objectify women and reinforce negative attitudes. They believe that many performances' overt sexuality fosters the idea that female performers' success depends on their provocativeness rather than their musical talent. These critics say the VMAs have become a forum for sensationalizing and glamorizing immoral and sexual activity. The VMAs should not promote such stuff because it could harm society and young viewers. This perspective is from VMA critics and should not be taken as a definitive assessment of the event or its impact. People may view the VMA's cultural impact differently. During their performance at the Music Video Awards, the Italian glam rock band Måneskin opted to wear some provocative clothing. They wore edgy costumes that caught everyone's attention and left little room for interpretation, which was a demonstration of the audacious fashion sense they possessed. One member of the band in particular captured the attention of the audiences as well as the media when they walked on stage wearing a risque attire that drew attention to their uniqueness and added an element of surprise to their performance. The band's daring fashion statement at the Video Music Awards surely left an impact on spectators that will stick with them for a long time, and it further solidified Måneskin's position as a trendsetter in the world of glam rock. Dove Cameron celebrated the inclusion of an obviously queer song on mainstream radio by donating her award to queer youth and dedicating it to them. She noted the significance of this landmark, acknowledging that it not only signified progress, but also granted a voice and representation to a community that had been disenfranchised by previous actions. She said that this was an important step in the right direction. Dove emphasized her support for LGBT youth with real thankfulness and enthusiasm, expressing the hope that they would find inspiration and strength in the growing acceptance and visibility of their experiences. Specifically, Dove hoped the gay youth would find strength in the fact that their experiences are becoming more visible. Dove Cameron has proven her dedication to inclusivity and her aim to uplift and empower individuals who have traditionally been underrepresented in the media landscape through the manner in which she has recognized and celebrated her success. Hers was done in order to fulfill her goal. At the Video Music Awards, the well-known musician Lizzo impassionedly urged her fellow musicians to exert their collective influence and vote in order to bring about reform to laws that are purportedly discriminatory against the LGBTQ+ population. During her energizing speech, she underlined the significance of working together toward a common goal, as well as the capacity of artists to initiate meaningful change through their acts. Lizzo was a staunch believer that the arts community might contribute to the overturning of discriminatory laws and the creation of a society that was more welcoming to all members of society if artists were more politically active. Artists had the capacity to challenge the status quo and pave the way for a future that values diversity, equality, and acceptance if they united for a common cause, amplified their voices, and worked together for that cause. Billy Eichner is now promoting his upcoming film, Bros, which is the first openly homosexual romantic comedy to be produced by a major studio, and to feature all openly LGBTQ+ actors in starring roles. In his capacity as a supporter of LGBTQ+ people's rights to be represented in the entertainment industry, he passionately spreads the word about the movie. Nicki Minaj delivered an electrifying performance at the very end of the Video Music Awards, which left the audience in a state of amazement. As soon as she stepped onto the platform, she immediately commanded everyone's attention with her authoritative presence and fascinating singing. Nevertheless, she delivered a contentious and sexually explicit message during the final seconds of her performance, which caused eyebrows to be raised and arguments to be started. The number 150 is completely arbitrary and does not contribute any particular context to Nicki Minaj's performance at the Video Music Awards. I would be pleased to assist you further if you could provide any other details or a specific instance of the problem. Some people say the sexual revolution was the worst thing to happen to America because it changed the traditional roles of men and women and how marriage was viewed in the Bible. The liberalization of sexual views and behaviors during this time, in their view, has had negative effects on both individuals and society as a whole. An uptick in suicide attempts among individuals is widely blamed on the sexual revolution. Some people, they say, endure greater emotional distress and despair due to the moral confusion and instability that has resulted from the breakdown of traditional sexual norms and values. They say this is because people don't have adequate limits and guidelines for sexual conduct, which can lead to a sense of hopelessness and panic. There are likely to be divergent opinions on the after effects of the sexual revolution, with many people and organizations acknowledging both positive and negative changes. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video.